Hey everyone, this past weekend, auroras, which we usually see at the poles, were visible in many places around the world. Normally, you'd have to travel to cold climates and spend a lot of money to see this amazing light show. But on the evening of May 10th, these colorful displays spread as far as Mexico, Southern Europe, and South Africa, and all you had to do was look up to witness it. While auroras are mesmerizing, we mustn't forget the danger behind them. Quentin Verspieren, the European Space Agency's Space Safety Program coordinator, said, "We need to understand that behind this beauty, there is danger." Mike Betwe from the U.S. Space Weather Prediction Center mentioned that they are focusing on the more sinister impacts of solar storms, such as knocking out power grids and satellites or exposing astronauts to dangerous levels of radiation. These recent auroras were caused by the most powerful geomagnetic storm since the Halloween storms of 2003, which caused blackouts in Sweden and damaged power infrastructure in South Africa. Fortunately, this recent storm seems to have caused less damage, but it often takes weeks for satellite companies to report issues. For instance, some self-driving farm tractors in the US reportedly stopped in their tracks when their GPS guidance systems went down due to the storm. These strange effects are caused by massive explosions on the sun's surface that shoot out plasma, radiation, and even magnetic fields at incredibly high speeds. The recent activity came from a sunspot cluster 17 times the size of Earth, which has been raging over the week. On Tuesday, it blasted out the strongest solar flare seen in years. The sunspot is now turning away from Earth's direction, so the activity is expected to die down in the short term. However, in about 2 weeks, the sunspot will swing back around, again facing Earth. Meanwhile, another sunspot is coming into view right now, which could trigger major activity in the coming days, according to ESA Space Weather Service Coordinator Alexei Glover. So, the solar activity is definitely not over, and the odds of another major storm are highest between now and the end of next year, Betwe said. Geomagnetic storms, like the recent one, create a magnetic charge of voltage and current, essentially overloading things like satellites and power grids. The most famous example is the Carrington event in 1859, the worst solar storm in recorded history, which caused sparks to fly off telegraph stations and made some telegraphs work without being plugged into a power source. If such a powerful geomagnetic storm struck Earth again, most countries have improved their power grids to prevent prolonged outages like those that hit Sweden in 2003 or Canada in 1989. However, Betwe suggested having an emergency kit in case electricity is knocked out for a day or two, and having fresh water in case filtration plants go offline. Astronauts are particularly at risk from radiation during extreme solar activity. Those on the International Space Station usually take the best shelter they can when a bad storm is expected. Betwe said a massive solar storm could expose astronauts to an unhealthy dose of radiation, but he did not think it would be lethal. Emphasizing that he did not want to instill fear, Betwe added that radiation can also potentially get through the fuselage of planes flying near the North Pole. Airlines sometimes change routes during extreme solar storms to avoid this. Several upcoming missions aim to improve forecasting of the sun's intense and unpredictable weather, giving Earth more time to prepare. If ESA's Vigil mission, planned to launch in 2031, were in place today, it would provide us with much more information about the currently rotating sunspot, Glover said. I hope you enjoyed this informative video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next video.